the Taxpayers' Bill of Rights. This would seem to be a logical place to start. So here we have our presentation, Taxpayers' Bill of Rights, by okay, now you know who I am. Okay, let's go. Here's a list of all 10. They are on the IRS website, and let's go through them one at a time. Our first taxpayer's right is the right to be informed. Taxpayers have the right to know how to comply with the tax laws. They are entitled to clear explanations of laws, procedures, the tax forms, instructions, mostly attached to those tax forms, publications, notices, and correspondence. Taxpayers have the right to be informed of IRS decisions about their tax accounts, receive clear explanations of the outcomes. So our second right is quality service. The quality service comprises the right to receive prompt and courteous and professional assistance in their dealings with the IRS, to be spoken to in a way they can easily understand, to receive clear and easily understandable communications from the IRS, and to speak to a supervisor about adequate service. The third taxpayer's right is to pay only the correct amount of tax. Taxpayers the right to pay only the amount of tax legally due, including interest and penalties, and to have the IRS apply all tax payments properly. Notice that it includes interest and penalties, and also to apply the payments properly. A payment to 1 year doesn't get applied to a different year, an older year, or something like that. The fourth right is taxpayers have the right to challenge the IRS's position and be heard. Taxpayers have the right to raise objections, and they have the right to provide additional documentation in response to IRS actions or proposed actions, to expect that the IRS will consider their objections, notice the word timely here, timely objections, and documentation promptly and fairly, and receive a response if the IRS does not agree with their position. Number 5, have the right to appeal IRS decisions in an independent forum. Taxpayers entitled to a fair and impartial administrative appeal of most IRS decisions, including many of the penalties, and have the right to receive a written response regarding the Office of Appeals decision. Taxpayers generally have the right to take their cases to court. Taking a case to court is not a trivial thing to do, but we'll cover that in another presentation. Number 6, to finality, the end of the matter. Taxpayers have the right to know the maximum amount of time that they have to challenge the IRS's position, as well as the maximum amount of time the IRS has to audit a particular tax year or collect a tax debt. Taxpayers have the right to know when the IRS is finished an audit or an assessment. The 7th right is the right to privacy. Interesting one here. Taxpayers have the right to expect that any IRS inquiry or examination or enforcement action will comply with the law, be no more intrusive than necessary, and will respect all due process rights, including search and seizure protections, and will provide applicable collection due process hearings. This is quite a frightening one. I think you'll agree. The 8th right is to confidentiality. Taxpayers have the right to expect that any information they provide to the IRS will not be disclosed unless it's authorized by the taxpayer themselves or by the law. Taxpayers have the right to expect appropriate actions to be taken against employees or return preparers or others who wrongfully use or disclose taxpayers' return information. The 9th, very important right, to retain representation. Taxpayers have the right to retain an authorized representative of their choice to represent them in their dealings with the IRS. And here we have our warrior. Here, I'm not going to tell you which one is the warrior and which one is me. Okay. Taxpayers have the right to seek assistance from a low-income taxpayer clinic if they cannot afford representation. And number 10, to a fair and just system. And by this means that the taxpayers have the right to expect the tax system to consider facts and circumstances that might affect their underlying abilities, their ability to pay, or their ability to provide the information timely. Taxpayers have the right to receive assistance from the Taxpayer Advocate Service if they are 1, experiencing financial difficulty, or 2, if the IRS has not resolved their tax issues properly and timely through its normal channels. So there you have it, life-changing, your 10 rights, and we've been through them. Obviously, there's a lot more to each one, and we'll cover those in specialized presentations in the future. Okay, so here we go. Question time. We're seeing this is a movie. You'll have to call me. Call me at 949-813-1349. Let me have your questions. And here you have it. Here's the legal bit. And you can speed through to that. And this is the end of the presentation. Bye.